Hey everyone, it's me, Dr. Crystal, and welcome to today. I want to talk about faith and how mine has been shook a little and how I brought myself back out of the darkness. Some of you might already know this. Many of you, if you've known me at all, you know that I'm the person you call when you want to bring light and lightness and hope and what do they call that thing that positive spin, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, people usually call me when they're like, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I want to feel more, I want to feel happiness, friends check in. But typically that's what I bring is the thing I get most is bubbles. You bring the bubbles to people, Crystal. And recently I found myself kind of flat and ironically out of bubbles at home at the same time. I am awaiting a shipment now, actually, of the soda stream canisters because I make my own bubbles all day in my water. So, quite literally out of bubbles, but also metaphorically. And the best way I could describe it was emotional quicksand. It's like quicksand is such a paradoxical word because it's actually quite slow, right? And the only way it goes quickly is if you struggle, and if you just relax, it kind of goes slow. But it's like this sinking slowly, just knowing that death is imminent, right? And hope is, and the lower you go into the quicksand, and the longer you linger there, the more you could get stuck. And so there's this sort of emotional quicksand that can happen, and it can be triggered by anything. It can be you had a bad day. It can be a set of disappointment. It can be a heartbreak. It can be just some simple expectation got blown and something happens, right? So it doesn't matter what gets you here because we all at times get here where it's like this emotional quicksand, this struggle to be. And so I want to share with you what happened for me in the last couple of weeks that has helped me in this place where I felt in emotional quicksand to come back out. And we're never finished, right? This journey is never finished. But I kept waiting to finish something, I guess, or complete a thing before I would start. And so now I've committed to these lives. And so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing here. We're keeping a commitment because it matters to me in this lower place. It matters that I'm at least keeping the commitments I've made. And I committed to 52 YouTube lives this year. This one's number 4. So here we go. Made it for 4 in July. Okay, so if you're in the emotional quicksand and you're like, how do I even, my question was how do I get up from here? And I really meant this. I believe in my heart that life gave me this experience that's so in contrast to who I usually am. But it was all me. Like somebody's like, oh, it's not your, all this energy work. It's not yours. Maybe it's someone else's. I'm like, no. I'm not spiritual bypassing this. This is all me. This is my stuff. It feels like me. It looks like me. It's parts of me that maybe I've not been willing to see for a very long time. And parts of me that just I was judging. Maybe I had an identity as the bubbly one. And when you heal things, sometimes it's hard to claim them again or to talk about them because they're so removed in a sense. But what I believe I was experiencing is this sort of everything that I thought or knew to be true wasn't quite working anymore. Everything, you know what I mean? It's just all of a sudden, everything that you thought you were working for years, it's I don't think so. Something's wrong here. So long story short, in the sense of several things not working in a row, and my bubbles just kind of got flat, and I'm out of canned bubbles to add it back. So now what? I really faced a few things, and the question that became how do I get up from here? Everybody's like, go do this, go do that, and I'm like, but everywhere you go, there you are. So yeah, I can go to the gym, but I'm being me at the gym, and there are parts of other people in my life, parts of them that I understand more, having been in this place that felt like weight like every cell of my body had an extra weight on it. Ironically, I've even put on a few pounds this last few weeks from junk food. It'll come right back off. I'm not worried, but you can probably see it in my face. That's all right. We are not shaming here. We love ourselves, and I love my body that it responds to how I'm being with it. And rather than making me sick or what other people experience, it just blows up and it makes me uncomfortable and then says, I'm going to keep doing this if you keep doing that. So like we can work together here and we're in harmony. So today's a different day. And today I woke up with a renewed sense of purpose, accomplishment, and focus. But I wasn't sure if it was going to last. And so let me tell you how we got to here. So after having a little bit of disappointments and blah, 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 so what happened doesn't matter, right? It's like blah, blah, blah. We all get to the blah, blah, blah. And then how do I get up from here? And I'll tell you what I chose to do, and you can take it where you want. I chose to fight for a little while because remember, I have an identity as a spoiled brat. If you haven't gotten to some of those other lives, maybe you'll get to know me more over time. But I'm genuinely confused when the world does not work the way I expected it to, because that's been most of my reality. I've been a creator of it. And when it doesn't work, it's confusing for me. And it's just, I got to deal with that part of me that's so spoiled brat that she's used to just working. And I get to see her often sometimes lately. But from that place where I just felt like I don't care. Like I literally didn't care about anything. I was like, how do I get up from here? I don't even care. I don't even care to get up. Well, and then I let myself be it. The first thing I did is I have some amazing people in my life, and they usually don't let me sit through my stuff. But when they would say, but nope, I'm gonna be right here, be here in it. I let myself go where it felt like I was sinking all the way into the quicksand, and the stories, like let the conversation happen. Okay, fine. No, really, you believe that? And sometimes when I could hear the lie, I could go, you're a lie, out. Right. So I could be conscious, but honestly, I didn't have any of that. I didn't have any of that from that low place. Like in my whole bubbly place, it's easy to go, oh, that's a lie, out. Okay, I'm in charge. Woohoo, look at me. I wasn't there. I was like, I don't care. Oh, there's a lie. Well, look at that lie. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, you can move in. I'm not going to do the effort that it takes to move you out. So whatever. That sucks that lie came in. Look at that lie. Sitting over here on my shoulder. Gosh, it's getting heavy, these lies. The more I felt the weight of it, the more I couldn't get out from it, right? So thank you, life, for teaching me that it's not so easy as like, well, just challenge that lie. Because it's not always as easy as just challenge the lie. Sometimes the lie's in there deeply. Or sometimes we just don't have what it takes to challenge anything. Sometimes I don't have what it takes to make my coffee in the morning. What do you mean challenge a lie? So when you are in those spaces, just give yourself some grace and allow yourself to be it. So rather than like trying to fight or making the feeling worse by adding more judgments, because for me, it's look at you being lazy. Look at you wasting your whole, like, guys, it's been 2 weeks. Come on. Like, talk about lies. It's been 2 freaking weeks since I had like an amazing situation with a lot of friends. I've just been home alone a lot, and so like now I can laugh at me. It wasn't so funny for the last few days, but like really, really, like, okay, so I suck right now. Like for me, I'm gonna be lazy right now. I've been a person who identifies as someone who does not watch TV. I've watched 2 shows, you guys, in the last 2 weeks. I'm almost finished with the Umbrella Academy now, and the other ones I wasn't enjoying. So I tried 3 different shows, actually never got into any of them. But the Umbrella Academy, it's just corny enough, I think, and I love magic and time. I especially love timeline magic. So here I am watching silly kids do silly things, but they're jumping timelines, so it's super cool. Yeah, I haven't been watching it with that energy. But anyways, okay, so I digress. Anyways, this is what you're gonna get. If I'm committed to lives, I'm just gonna get on here and be me because I have to. Like, I have to do this when I said I would. And so how I got out of the dark, I started by sinking in even further, like stopped the resistance, stopped it from sinking further. And then ironically, someone told me on the aftermath of all this that when you're in quicksand, they say that the best thing to do is like lie down and to like go back. And so when you go flat and back, it creates more resistance. So you more kind of start to float in it versus sinking. So I was like, of course. So I stopped and admitted where I was. I laid down, not physically, because I actually sit on my floor and usually do something on the computer or whatever while I watch TV. I can't just watch TV. That's boring. But like put on a show, let myself be there, lie down, so to speak, sit on the floor, do random stuff with my hands, whatever, and just be here. Like, what if I didn't need to add value to the world for this season, whatever's going on in my life? What if I don't have to add value in just this season, like just for right now? I'm not saying forever, just like right now. What if I don't have to add value? And I'm like, all right, this sucks. You know what I found at the literal core of it? I thought I was depressed. I thought I was sad. I thought I was like lonely. That somebody keeps wanting to come over and I keep saying no. And I'm like, why are you saying no? You're like spending all this time by yourself. And I don't know. And then I realized I was bored. I was bored because I had, in the motion of doing, because I got started in business, I was having all this success. And then when you have a lot of success and sell a lot of stuff, you got to go build all the stuff. And I got caught up in the inside, being home. Like I have to stay home till these projects are all the way done. Like I've put my whole life on hold. I don't know why I did this. I'm not supposed to be the doer, you guys. I'm supposed to be the director. So that's my role where I shine. When I'm the doer, it takes forever. So I'm trying to deliver on these projects that I sold. I didn't have a team in place yet. Like I didn't put the infrastructure. I didn't sell it for enough to add the team in. So I have to do all the work myself. Like I put myself in a conundrum, right? And so in that, I got home alone and isolated a lot. And even when I would go out from a little bit, I would be better. So because I travel a lot, I didn't take the time to be with myself enough to figure out what was going on. And so I'll be home, I'll start to feel it, and then I take off for a trip. Well, I got a message from, like, I feel like spirit communicates with me through knowing. I call it wisdom. So I communicate directly with wisdom, and wisdom was saying, like, stay home in Miami. After had a wedding in June in Utah, I said, then go home, stay home in Miami. I'm here, week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm like, oh my God. Next thing you know, I'm like swirly headed and like, what? But through sitting with it, through taking the time to be here in one place and not, you guys, I can't tell you how many times I almost took off traveling, like so many. And I was like, stay home in Miami. I did go to Dallas for just one day for church. I like this like energy church there that reminds me of my childhood. So I did. I just stayed and I stayed until I was like, I'm losing my mind. And then you know what? I found out I was bored. I was bored because the way I did everything, like I didn't have to do this business, but I did. And then I went around and designed it right after the old constructs that caused me to leave in the first place when I retired for a while. So in the sitting still, in the getting all the way to board, I realized I've done this before and I don't want to do this model this way again. And so just making high level adjustments to the way I'm using the way I serve the world. And you guys, I cannot make this stuff up. So I did it like last week. I actually imagined this new timeline that I was creating, and I wrote it all down, and I did a little ceremony and hopped into a new timeline, and then thought it's going to take a few days to integrate this. Like what's this new? And so in that, I wrote in the new reality of me, the me who has feeding myself well is easy, because I struggle with like feeding myself. I just wish somebody else would do it. Feed me all the healthy food, please, because I don't want to do it, but I want to eat it. So just like allowing that to be easy, allowing, right? So new programming. And, sometimes it takes our physical dense nature, especially because I was coming from a low place. It'll take our denser nature a little more time to catch up. And yesterday I felt the lull. Like I thought I was kind of good. And then yesterday I felt the like, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to do this again. Like this, not really adding value. Okay. That's what so really leaning in. So first thing was to lie down and be with it. The second thing is to lean into the direction that is my truth. Stop again. Like I thought, okay, I'm good. No, just kidding. I'm not good. Within like an hour of making the choice that, okay, maybe this is a TV day. Maybe I've given what I have to give to this day because I did a lot of work in the morning. But as I mentioned, TV bores me. Even the fun timeline stuff. There's a lot of fighting. I don't like the fighting, so I tune out and do my own thing during the fights. So I just sat down in front of my computer. Next thing you know, this whole big project that's been like, it's such a big lift. It just happened till like 8, 9 p.m. I think I worked, but it didn't it did feel like work. It was work, but it was good work and it felt energized and powered. And so I was like, I tuned in. When I feel it, I just stop and lay down, like, and metaphorically, because I won't lie down for real. I mean, I could, but I walk meditate even, or dance meditate. So, like stop and just be still. Acknowledge what is the truth, right? Like be present with what truly is and what I want it to be, and like see what's there to see. And in that hour, turned around. So this morning, can't make this up. I get up and I finally heard back from someone I've been trying to connect with. We've been trying to connect for a while, actually, an old friend, and he has some technology. And anyway, that's all I can say about that. But there's some stuff brewing that was like, where were these deals the last 2 or 3 weeks to energize? Because I can get energized by big deals that might be happening and that I can facilitate and be part of. That energizes me even when I'm home alone. But final thing, I want to share with you the last part of that, which is to mine the nuggets of the time. So stop, let yourself be there. And then, don't judge it, whatever, surrender. Once I surrendered the need to, I don't know, maybe what it feels like in retrospect is a little bit of a hero complex. Like I have to do these things in the world and these things aren't working. Therefore, there's a dissonance between what I think is mine to do and what is working. So just challenge the lie of like, what's the story? Maybe I don't have to do, maybe I'm not responsible at all. And maybe I don't even have to play a role in solving that thing that I see that I thought was mine. Maybe what if I didn't? Like, what if I didn't have to do anything significant ever again? And all I had to do was what lights me up. And the nugget and so like really tuning into that. And then the third piece would be mine the nugget. Like, what's the nugget? What can I take home from this with me? And business deals already, like ding, 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 and I love being involved in business deals. And I really love teaching. I really, really love having a classroom. Like teaching online is great. And I'm committed to this with you guys because I need it or I'll explode. And also because I promised I would. But I feel like I do have a lot to offer and a lot to share with the world, but I don't know how to put it out as a product. Not all of it do I know how to say, here's the product. I don't know what people care about, but you know what I do know? Who I am. I know very well who I am, and I keep going into the darkness and going into the deep and finding her again. And so as I come out of the darkness this time, because I promise you, I wish I could say better, but I promise you I'll be in the dark again someday. We all go in cycles into the darkness, and it's important because there we find what hidden treasures we almost lost. And what I realized is it matters to me to have a classroom. And so now I get to go out of the season where I was in some darkness and got all the way to bored, right? Like feeling a little bored. Summer is not a big project season for me for new stuff to be brewing. So, just chilling. And apparently Crystal doesn't chill well. So that's something I'm working on. And so really allowing the space for that new nugget. And like, I want to be in a classroom. I don't know what that looks like, but I want a physical classroom. This matters to me. And you know what? That's not about anyone else. I realized I have lots of audiences I could teach and lots and lots and lots of topics. You guys, I have a doctorate with 5 disciplines I could teach at an academic level, plus an interest in things like human behavior and psychology that I did not study officially, but studied since I was 4 with my dad. Um, I have a lot to offer, and I recognize that, but I don't always know how or when or how to package it. So this is my offering to you for whomever it may serve. And but I realized the classroom isn't really about being in service at all. Like, I love that it's in service. Don't get me wrong. I love the stories of the students, but they're going to thrive and do their thing regardless. But I love that classroom being a part of expanding minds and removing obstacles and creating possibility for what can be done. And I usually teach finance economics, so it's in the realm of money. Like, what new money possibilities can I offer you? So mind the nugget. That's the third part, is just mind the nuggets from that. For me, that was, I love the classroom, and the classroom isn't about other people. It's because I like to have a classroom. So that can be something I turn my attention to, and how I'm solving that currently to match my nomad lifestyle, which I'm settled in Miami, but also travel a lot. Um, but to match that lifestyle, digital virtual works for now. And who knows? I don't even want to get into how it might look for me to be in a physical classroom again, and still have that freedom, but we'll see. I do love a physical classroom. And so mining that nugget of, oh, I like that. And that wasn't really about being a professor and how much money you make or don't make. If you could not have the administrative duties of being a professor and show up and just teach and bond with the students, that was the part I loved. So I can replicate that in other ways, perhaps. And so we'll see what time and life brings. But that was important to me. I just love classrooms. I love having classrooms of people and serving in that way. So mind the nuggets and take those with you. But when you're coming out of the darkness, just give yourself a break, a little grace, a little love. Stay where you are until you're ready to face it. And when you come out, not while you're in the darkness, guys, because in the darkness, what I learned recently is you can't get there from here. I always heard them say that. And I'm like, what do you mean? Just just tune yourself and go there. And that's all good, Pollyanna. But what about when life is heavier than you know how to lift? And yeah, just like don't try to get there from here. Just try to be here and present. Like, it's okay to suck, right? It's okay to have a sucky day. Like, all these motivation things. I love you guys for trying to motivate us, but seriously, stop making us feel like trash on the days that we just don't have it. And what if I would just go deeper into who I am on those days? Now, with all that said, I will now be tuning in, now that I'm ready and out of the darkness, tuning into the motivational stuff, because I have some damage control to do with my physical body based on my lack of movement and addition of starchy foods and sugary foods over the last few weeks. But when you are making those changes, like, that's just what it is. No shaming, no judging, no uh, making yourself wrong for having been there. There's no timeline here. We have all of eternity and multiple timelines to get it right. So, like, just be the best you got right now, right here. That's it. Because when I was trying to be all these other things, because I thought I will, all these stories, you know what? I had some still stuck programming of my value. Oh my gosh, this happened today with my friend and his software. It's quantum something, with a bunch of stuff I can't explain to you. I can tell you its impact is so phenomenal. And I watched myself change the tune of, he said, are you worth this much? Are you worth this much? Are you worth this much? I was like, of course. Well, but then there became a stopping point, because I was valuing, am I worth that, based on how much monetary impact that could have on. So would someone hire me for this much? And once I felt like I'm not sure I could make someone that much of a monetary impact, I got stuck on a limit that didn't feel true for me anymore. But through the recognition of that, I realized that he was not asking what is my value exchange in cash. He was saying, are you worth this much? And so in that, I saw the switch from who the external world's valuing system of me through cash exchanges versus the value I know I'm bringing to a situation. And I was like, oh, then we're infinite because I have watched myself change people's lives. I have been a part of praying in a church, even initiated it many times, where someone was in a wheelchair and now is dancing all over the front of the church somehow. And like I watched this woman be in a wheelchair for a long time, and then here she is dancing. And we had that multiple times. Praying with a girl who came in with a cane. She was completely legally blind and came out of there seeing everyone and talking, describing things in vivid detail. And I was kind of too young to really remember the details, but I remember a lady died and they sent all the kids out of the church and they like went in and prayed with this woman and then she lived. And just so many stories that I witnessed with my own eyes, most of them. And so much more my parents told me. And so what I want to point out to you is when we show up, people's lives change. So just for a little bit, since the topic of this particular live was coming out of the dark, if you're in the dark, stop trying to show up for everyone else and show up for you. Now, what does showing up for you look like? It might mean laying on the couch eating Cheetos. I don't like Cheetos, but whatever your version, right? I like cookies. But it might be laying on the couch eating junk food. It might be going to the gym extra because you need that outlet. It might be sailing across the world. It might be starting a new podcast. It might look like lying down. It might look like standing up. But when you're in the darkness, just ask yourself, what would it look like right now to show up for me? And the best way I've found to do that, ironically, is to start showing up in the world the way I would want to show up if I was my best me. And what I mean by that is while the lull and the depression, when it's heavy, and I can't, I stay. But on those days that it's just kind of like in the middle and you don't really have anything you're not motivated to do anything for yourself. Let's face it, sometimes that happens. Then reach out and find someone you can do something for, something that you would enjoy. So I'm in conversation with people who have aged out foster kids, and I don't know, maybe we do a training for them to help them see whatever's, I don't know what's going on with them. So that even just reaching out to initiate that relationship helped me feel better because I felt like, oh, okay, well, if I don't figure all this other stuff out, at least I have this that I can go and add value in a way that my heart wants to add value. And I don't have to figure out business systems to go be who I am with a bunch of young adults who are being who they are. And I have a lot to offer already from who I am to that space. So again, that was showing up for me. I didn't initiate that conversation because I have this noble heart who wants to help foster kids. It was, you know what? I would feel served by serving those kids. And it's okay that it's not because of them, it's because of me, because they still get to be served and I still get to be served. And guess what? In a space in the darkness, that's all I had. It was like, oh, I could show up and talk with these kids because one thing about me is I can be as low as they come, but the moment it's time to be on, I'm capable of putting that aside and being present. I think that's yours in the classroom. Like I could be however I am about my family, my kids, my love life, whatever. But the moment I'm in the classroom, it's on, right? Like I got to be in effect to what I'm here for. So that's enough for today. Thank you for joining me. I'm sorry for some of the rambling, perhaps, but a lot was coming through there. I just decided to come on with no rhyme, no reason and share with you my story for this one because I think we all get stuck in the darkness. And sometimes rather than me coming on with something to teach you, what if I could just come on and be me and share where my heart is, where my soul is, and a little bit of help with how I get up. I just let myself lay there till I couldn't let myself really, really see. In my case, I was bored. I wanted new structures, new systems, new ways of achieving what I was doing, which is so ironic that we're 2 weeks in and it's already answered itself in a couple of ways. And to keep mine the gifts. Until next time, I'll see you in the lives. And if you haven't heard about it yet, join me at Spend Class. So I've started a weekly class Wednesdays at noon Eastern, Wednesdays noon Eastern, every time, all the time, every week. We'll be doing Spend Class, and that's all things how to use your money wisely. It's not an investment and savings class. It's how to spend, how to use, how to be smart with money. And that invitation is out there in the world on LinkedIn and all the places. But if you go into our YouTube's channel, you'll see the first one. And then from there, you can type spend class, spend like spend your money, SPEND, spend class. I'll see you there or on the next live. Enjoy, and remember, you're enough just like you are. And who cares if anything's special or not? You're you. That's special enough. Special? The frick is special anyway. You're you. You are you. That's what matters. And I love you.